The Bloodline story is taking a new direction with new twists and turns possibly being on the way. So we'll see what's new there with that storyline. So last time we talked about this story, we talked about the very big moment of Paul Heyman lying to the Usos about Roman's whereabouts and how he dismissed them to the jet early on in the night. It made it seem like a reward that Roman was giving for their contributions during Night 2's main event, when in actuality, the early dismissal from Raw was a punishment from Roman because of how they lost their titles to Kevin and Sami. So right after the Raw after WrestleMania, we knew that Roman and Paul Heyman definitely have some sort of issues going on with the Usos and how they embarrassed the family by losing their titles. However, for whatever reason, Roman and Heyman's strategy at the moment appears to be hide and disguise their anger and disappointment with the Usos and their big WrestleMania loss. So, Smackdown picks up the same manipulation theme continuing. Jey Uso approaches Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa, and Heyman is just throwing non-stop words of praise in Jey's direction. Paul Heyman is even calling him Main Event Jey Uso, the right-hand man, and greeting him with the biggest fake smile ever imaginable. Jey Uso quickly mentions how he hasn't seen Jimmy Uso all night, and asks Paul Heyman about where Jimmy is at. Heyman reveals that it was Roman Reigns who made Jimmy stay home and watch as Jey Uso handles the Sami Zayn issues once and for all on his own. Jey agrees and walks off, but similar to the Raw after WrestleMania moment, we see another sneaky moment from Paul Heyman behind Jey's back. After Jey is long gone, Heyman goes over to Solo Sikoa and tells him that either Jey solves the Sami Zayn problem tonight, or how Solo Sikoa will solve their problems tonight. So just another ambiguous line that's purposely meant to throw you through a loop about what Heyman was referring to. It can mean several things, but telling by how the line had to be said behind Jey's back, one just has to assume that the problem Heyman wanted Solo Sikoa to solve was the problem of Jey Uso. If Jey Uso lost the match to Sami Zayn, it definitely sounded like Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns would have been done with Jey Uso and have Solo Sikoa fully take him out to close out that edition of Smackdown and remove Jey from the Bloodline. That's just what it seemed like the backup plan was. And this segment just completely mirrored the Raw after WrestleMania segment in that way. Paul Heyman completely gaslights the Usos with words of praise, but then goes off to do something suspicious the second the Usos are gone off screen. So telling by that same action taking place 2 times in a row, you just have to assume that there's an agenda from Roman, Heyman, and even possibly Solo Sikoa that's being hidden from the Usos. So then we go over to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Kevin's argument is that after Sami's match with Jey later in the night, that they should both move on from everything related to the Bloodline. He says that they won, they took their titles, and how they should just keep moving on to new and better things now. But there is a problem. Sami isn't fully on board with that idea. Sami says that's all true, but that something still feels off, and he can't shake the feeling that he needs to talk to Jey. Sami says he's happy to see the Bloodline crumbling, but he still feels a sense of obligation. Kevin says that everything crumbling doesn't make Jey more vulnerable and easy to talk to. He thinks it makes Jey even more dangerous than he's ever been, and it's a bad idea. Which was some nice foreshadowing for what happens later on in the night. But Sami Zayn says that he's still gotta try and talk to him. So we get Sami and Jey's backstage conversation. Sami says that despite everything that's going on, that there's still a way out of this for Jey. Sami tells Jey to look around and wake up to how the Bloodline is crumbling. Sami directly tells Jey everything that the audience has been noticing. He tells Jey that Roman is mad at him, Heyman is feeding him lies, and how Solo Sikoa looks like he's ready to drop him at any given moment. Sami says that if Jey can't see all those clues around him, then he'll keep hammering it into his head every week. But their conversation is interrupted by screaming and yelling, and Sami finds Kevin Owens hurt after being attacked from Solo Sikoa. Paul Heyman can be seen in the background either recording the situation with his phone or actually speaking on the phone with Roman Reigns. Jey comes over and he just looks at Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So this moment could branch out and lead to several other things as well. Obviously, Kevin Owens has every right to be upset with Sami Zayn. If Sami wasn't so concerned about talking to Jey Uso, Sami could have been there to save Kevin from the attack from Solo Sikoa. And on the other hand, maybe this was a test from Roman and Heyman to see how Jey Uso reacts. Does he join in on the attack on Kevin Owens? Does he attack Sami Zayn? Well, we now know that Jey just ended up standing there watching everything unfold. So maybe Jey just possibly failed another one of Roman's tests right then and there. But then we get to the match and Jey Uso ends up picking up the win over Sami Zayn. So by Jey winning, that cancels out the secret backup plan that Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa spoke about. Whatever that plan was of Solo Sikoa solving their problems only would have came into play if Sami won the match. So considering that Sami didn't win, that hidden plan didn't have to be put into play. But instead, we see Solo Sikoa still come in after the match and try to fully take out Sami Zayn once and for all. But Jey Uso grabs his arm and stops Solo from doing the spike, and they have an intense stare down. A lot of fans instantly made the connection and saw the callback that this moment was to the 30th anniversary of Raw, where Jey grabbed Solo's arm and stopped him from spiking Sami. Jey stopped Solo back then in order to protect Sami Zayn and keep Sami safe from getting kicked out of the Bloodline back then. But things have changed this time around. Now Jey grabbed Solo Sikoa's arm and prevented him from hitting Sami with the spike, basically in order to protect his own Bloodline status. Jey stopped Solo's spike and instead hit Sami Zayn with a super kick. So what was going on here was Jey wanting to show Roman Reigns that he truly handled the situation with Sami Zayn on his own. That's why he didn't want Solo Sikoa to hit that spike, because he wanted all the credit for taking out Sami Zayn and showing Roman that he can still be trusted and relied on. Which goes back to Kevin's point of Jey being more desperate and dangerous. It was basically the battle of the Bloodline's two right-hand men. Jey easily used to be Roman's right-hand man back in the day, a few years back. Jey was Roman's #1 option, and he always turned to Jey to handle any situation. But as everyone is starting to realize, that right-hand man role has definitely been transferred over to Solo Sikoa. Jey Uso most definitely is no longer the second option with the Bloodline. The honor and privilege has now been given to Solo Sikoa, and maybe Jey is starting to slowly realize the writing on the wall about that situation. If he doesn't wake up and start taking more and more big actions real soon, not only will Solo Sikoa fully take that right-hand man spot, but Jey may be completely falling out of the Bloodline altogether. So that appears to be where Jey is at right now as a character. He knows WrestleMania was a huge loss. He knows Roman is furious with him. He knows they must be cooking something up, waiting for him to have a big slip up again so they can fully kick him out of the Bloodline. And Jey obviously knows that Sami is right. Jey saw the entire situation unfold right in front of his eyes with Sami Zayn. How Sami Zayn went from Roman's favorite to absolutely getting destroyed and kicked out of the group. Jey knows that it can be his reality as well, but he's trying to fight back against it one last time and try his best to show Roman that he's still worth something, and how he should be the right-hand man over Solo Sikoa. So Jey's story is extremely interesting right now, and it'll be great to see how the story continues to unfold. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.